Hey guys, it's Morgan. Welcome back to my channel, Living Life with Cancer. I hope you guys are doing good. Today is just kind of a lazy morning for me. I got out of bed at like 10 o'clock and I still haven't made my bed yet. So it's just a mess, so don't mind the messy background. And I didn't do anything yet today. I didn't even eat yet. I didn't take my pills yet. I should probably do that because it's getting late. And I didn't clean up anything. My room's just a mess, and it's just not that good of a day. And yesterday I went to the doctor's and I didn't get the best of news, so that's probably why I just don't really have any motivation to do anything today. So I had an appointment yesterday with my oncologist and my nurse practitioner at the cancer clinic, and I'm going to tell you all about that because I got some pretty big news about my health and what we're going to be doing for my treatment plan. So one of my nurse practitioners told me that the appointment was going to be on Thursday for 1:30 p.m. with my oncologist. So I have to go an hour before that to get blood work done. So she said she booked an appointment for me at the cancer clinic for me to get my blood work done at 12:30. So it's Thursday, comes 12:30, me and my mom go to the cancer clinic, and I go up to the receptionist's desk and she tells me that I don't have an appointment today. So I'm basically a walk-in, so they have to squeeze me in when anybody has time to do anything, which they're all busy. And it was really busy that day. It was completely booked. Like, all the chairs were full, every bed and every chair was full. The waiting room was full. There was just so many people there, and so I knew that it was going to be a long wait. So I go back to the waiting room and I start reading my book, which this is actually a plus because I did get to finish my book, and I'm just really happy about that because I really wanted to finish the book I was reading, which was Missing Persons by Kate Conaway, I think, and it was just a really good book. Anyway, I'm sitting in the waiting room reading my book, and an hour goes by and my mom is starting to get really impatient because she has to actually go for another appointment with her work after the doctor appointment, so she needed us to get out of there on time. So she was kind of getting impatient, so she went and talked to the receptionist again, and they said that they didn't have anyone available to do my blood work, just go to see my doctor. So we went to the other side of the cancer clinic where they have the appointments with the oncologist. So we go and we sit and we wait again, and then my nurse practitioner, Kit, she comes out and she tells us that she's going to call over to the other side of the cancer clinic for the blood work to see if they have anybody to do it. But they literally just told us while we were over there that they didn't have anybody to do it. So she goes and she calls them and she comes back and says, okay, go over to the other side to get your blood work done and then come back here and we'll see you right away. So we go back to the other side again, and we are told to sit down and wait until someone comes. And then we get someone to do it, and we're finally getting my blood work done. She changed my PICC line, and she actually put this really cute princess sticker on it, and it's Ariel, and she did a really good job. I'm liking this PICC dressing here. It looks good. It's clean. If you have a PICC line, you would understand. Like, this is a good dressing. I appreciate everything is wrapped up perfectly. She did it the exact way that I like it to be wrapped up. Like, there is a wrong way and a right way for them to do it, and sometimes they do it the wrong way and I just don't like it. But this is the way that I like it. So I'm really happy about that. And I got a little sticker. I feel special. Anyways, back to my story. So after a long wait, we finally get called into our room, which only is another long wait because we had to sit in the room, in the beds, waiting there for the doctor to come in. And first the nurse comes in and she checks my vitals and everything was good. I told her my symptoms. Then she went to go tell my doctor and my nurse practitioner, and then they eventually came in, and my oncologist basically told me that he was going to be certain that I was getting my bone marrow transplant, and he was going to book it for the end of March. So what's going to be happening is, because the bone marrow transplant works best if you have 0% leukemia cells left in your body, and I still have 0.93, which is what we found out from the last bone marrow biopsy results. So they're going to continue the last 2 cycles. They're going to continue the last 2 cycles of my chemo, the high dose methotrexate, where I go into the hospital for the few days and then I have to stay in until it's out of my system. So they're going to be continuing that, and then when that's done, they're going to be doing a bone marrow biopsy, another one. Again, like, that's a lot of bone marrow biopsies all close together, and then I have to get a bone marrow transplant. Like, okay, so I'm gonna be getting the bone marrow transplant, or the bone marrow biopsy done, and if I have 0% leukemia cells left, I'm going to go straight for the bone marrow biopsy, or oh my god, I can't speak. The bone marrow transplant. Like, this is too many words. I'm just gonna say transplant and biopsy from now on. It'll be easier. So after I get the biopsy, if the results come back and I have 0% leukemia cells left, then I'm going to go straight for the transplant. And then if I do still have some leukemia cells left, they're going to try and use this other experimental chemo drug. My doctor didn't really tell me much about it, so we're going to ask him more about that because he didn't really explain it, and it was just an option just in case, because they want me to have 0% leukemia cells left, because then the bone marrow transplant will work the best, which makes sense. I'm getting parched from all this storytelling. I'm such a nerd. Anyways, so they want to try that new drug, and then after that, they're probably going to want to do another bone marrow biopsy to see if I have 0% left yet. Or maybe they'll just send me straight for the transplant and just assume that whatever I have left is whatever I have left, and they're just going to send me for it and not put me through another bone marrow biopsy, which is what I would really appreciate, because I don't want to have to go through another one of those. And my hip is actually really starting to hurt now. Like, when I sleep, I can't lay on the side that I get the biopsies done, which is on my right side. So I can't sleep on my right side for longer than like 45 minutes, because then I start getting really sharp pain in my hip. But even if I'm laying on the other side, sometimes I do get sharp pain. Like right now, like I'm sitting in this, I can't speak. I've been sitting in this spot for a long time now, and I'm starting to get a little bit of hip pain, and so I really don't want to get too many more biopsies done, because I don't want this pain to get any worse than it already is. Like, but either way, I'm getting my bone marrow transplant done no matter what, and that was kind of not the best news. I was really hoping that I wasn't going to have to get it done, and they talked about it as an option since the beginning that I might have to get it done, but I thought that the chemo would be enough alone and I wouldn't have to end up getting the transplant, and I was just really hoping for that. So I was kind of disappointed when I heard that I was going to have to get this transplant, and I was doing some research and talking to some other people who have gotten the bone marrow transplant before, and it just has some really negative side effects, and some really long-term side effects too could happen. So I'm just a little bit nervous for it, but I hope everything's gonna turn out okay, and I'm not too worried about it. I just don't know how I'm gonna react to it and what my body is going to do. I've heard that people get really itchy, they get really nauseous, they get really tired. There's just a lot of symptoms that can happen because they have to wipe out your immune system completely to do the procedure, and so I'm susceptible to any of the germs that are floating around us every day that we can't see. So I am really susceptible to infections and germs and catching an infection, some sort of infection, and it's just really common because I can't have any immune system at all because I have to get the new stem cells to rebuild a brand new immune system, I guess. I don't really know how it works right now. I'm gonna have to live in a bubble for like a week because they have to wipe out my immune system, and I have to be completely isolated from any germs and anyone. So I have to live in a bubble, and I'm just not looking forward to that. I don't really know what I'm gonna do or how it's gonna be, but we'll see. And we actually have to go to the transplant hospital for like some sort of consultation, and they'll tell us everything and they'll give us more details, because we don't really have any details yet because it's just brand new information. We didn't really get to talk to the doctors about it for very long, and we haven't had any questions answered or anything like that. So there's a lot to think about, a lot to research, and a lot to ask before we go. But yeah, so I'm going to be going to do that, and I have to stay in the hospital for a month after the transplant is done, and then I have to stay within an hour of the hospital for 1 month, up to 2 months, but most likely 1 month, because I'm young, I'm 18, I'm healthy, I'll probably recover really quickly. So it'll probably only be 1 month that I'll have to stay within an hour of the hospital for just in case anything happens. The main transplant hospital is actually 3.5 hours away from my house, so I'm going to have to go either stay in a hotel or rent an apartment for just literally 1 month or something. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but so I'm going to be away from my home for 2 months, so it's gonna be a long time. But that's basically what's going on with me. I'm gonna end the video right here. My mom's waiting on me to watch our show, and she actually just texted me. I was like, what time are you gonna be ready? Are you done filming yet? So she's getting pretty impatient, I can see. So I'm gonna end this video here, and thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.